Melanin on melanin. You do need to recharge off your velvet skin. Make them feel like
the candle's hot. Got my papers. Sorry, I just realized I just shipped the papers next to the mic, so all you got was paper shake. I'm getting used to this. I'm learning tools, etiquette, things like that. This isn't my first go around, but you know what? I ain't really gone around that many times, so I'm still a rookie. So definitely apologize for any technical or whatever mistakes I may make. I'm trying. So I appreciate everybody for being on this journey with me. So that being said, welcome to the All the F and Sauces podcast. I'm your host, Andy, aka Mr. PYO. Please give me a follow on Instagram, mistr.pyo, or the All the F and Sauces podcast. Will be coming to all platforms within the next week. Today is October 30th. It is the day before Halloween. And yeah, we're here. So once again, just to leave off on a technical standpoint, trying a new camera position, i.e. my iPhone is now turned sideways. And and it's on a new mode. So hopefully this comes out looking okay on all of the different platforms it's supposed to, and I don't have to re-record. I've done that before, but anyways, yeah, welcome to the podcast. And like I said, today's October 30th, and I think I mentioned last podcast how the weather definitely has changed here in the Pacific Northwest. Like we getting a proper fall. Like we're not getting another spike of hot days. That's not happening. You know, last year we had some warm days pop up towards Halloween, and I was able to like go to the river, and like I remember I posted a video like I was at the river with my shirt off and like being able to walk through the water with with Cherry. And so I mean the weather was nice, real nice. As you can see now, this is my first proper Pacific Northwest fit of the season. As you can see, full hoodie, got the even repping the flannel inside on the vest. So like I got two different vibes going on in one. Shoot, I did. You know what? I didn't wear these shoes today. I really wish I should have, but even got the gazelles matching with the socks. I'm sorry you're seeing the dirty part on the bottom, but matching with the socks. So I was full out matching today. That's why I'm wearing the shoes inside. I know you can't see them right here, but you know, I decided to pop some fit photos before I took this off. And yeah, I don't know. I decided I can't believe I matched. And you know, one of the things that you know, if you know me, like I definitely like fashion to a certain extent. I'm not into the high fashion stuff, but I definitely like to dress well and present well. But I mean, everything in this army is pretty much name brand. I mean, I don't know what this vest is. I can't really vouch for that one. But this whole outfit, shoes, hat, vest, pants, absolutely well under $100, all through and through, total, not each piece, literally $100 together. I really pride myself in not just looking fly, but looking fly for cheap. I feel like clothing shouldn't be, when I see the prices of what people are paying for designer, that's ridiculous. Because it's fine if you got it, but it's just like, I know what else I could do with that for the same, and it's functioning the same way. Um, Maybe I'm not getting the same reactions like, oh, that's that Balenciaga, that's that whatever, but um, I get plenty of compliments wherever I go. So I really don't find an issue in it. And that, not only that, like I said, I take more pride in it that I can't think of a single thing on my body that I paid more than $20 for. And yes, that includes the shoes. Uh, I'm pretty fortunate enough, especially living here in Portland. We've got the Adidas employee store that you can go at anytime, and anybody can go. Everything's 50% off. Or before, even the real big lick, and that's where I got these shoes from, was they used to have another outlet store at outlet mall out in like on the eastern outskirts of Portland, and that was only open for like 2 years. And don't get me wrong, I definitely took advantage, but I didn't. Now that it's closed, I didn't take advantage hard enough. That place, everything in the store was 70% off, and then probably the last 4 or 5 months it was open, everything was 70% off plus another 25% off that price. So I mean, $130 shoes or $35. Like, oh, I should have went harder. I definitely should have went harder. But I mean, I got like a knee length bubble jacket for like $60. Um, all kinds of crazy shit. That's what I pride myself on. So I don't know. Um, Anyways, just thought I'd give you put you a little bit on game. So that being said, I have no problem letting you know how frugal I am, and also you can look fly doing it. I don't think there's anything wrong with both. So you don't have to. Expensive doesn't mean you're fly, and fly doesn't mean expensive either. So anywho, let's see. Since we last left off, um, we're closing out the month of October. Uh, I can absolutely tell you I've been out since then. I just can't tell you what I did. No, I can. So, um, kind of a cool thing that's been happening in Portland, at least since post COVID, is that there's a crew that's been throwing a drum and bass happy hour and it's probably been going on pre-COVID, but it's just I moved here in 2021, so that's where my knowledge base starts. But there's a crew that's been throwing a drum and bass happy hour in a few spots in town, and so I decided to meet a homie there, and it was super solid, super solid. Uh, Actually, I'd probably say one of the better nights I've seen of like just pure local talent that was playing. Uniquely enough, one of the main reasons, one of the main drivers of why I wanted to go was Aphrodite was actually supposed to be playing or was supposed to be headlining, and uniquely enough, in today's administration, he was denied entry to the U.S. And so he's British. He's been here hundreds of times. I've seen him a couple times. That being said, I probably haven't seen him since easily 2000 is probably the last time I saw him. Maybe 2001. But I definitely had seen him a few times prior to that in the years. And I was actually really looking forward to it. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. But that being said, was able to continue the night of drum and bass. went to another spot and saw Sota, and that was cool for some jump up. I was just honestly, I was just too tired to keep running it like hard. I wasn't really trying to have like a really a really late night. My I wanted to go out the next night, and then so, I also wanted to go out Sunday night as well. It- there you go. So yeah, I've been out a lot. That was literally this last weekend. So when I went and saw Sota, I just went for a little bit, took off. That was cool. Like it was cool to have some drum and bass energy. Crowd was I preferred the crowd that was at the drum and bass happy hour just because it was all like heads and folks in the know. So that was really cool. Um, yeah, Soto was just it was what it was. That be it, they didn't sell a crazy amount of tickets either for Soto, which was kind of strange. I thought that would have been a definitely a heavier populated show, but no, not so much. But it happens. Let's see what else. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then I was supposed to go, or I wanted to go out Saturday, but the weather sucked. Like it was super windy. Tree branches were blowing off the trees, and I just didn't feel like making the trek out into that at all. Especially for what I really wanted to actually be out for the weekend for, when it actually was a low speed, low key night that um that I was actually really looking forward to was hold let me 1 sec. Sorry folks, I just had to put it on D&D, make sure uh there has been a time where I was recording a podcast. My watch wasn't my watch was locked, and a phone call came in and stopped my recording halfway through. So uh just had to do a safety check on that. Anywho, thank you for rolling with me for I oh, so yeah, so Saturday I didn't go out, but then Sunday early night, which I was happy for. Mind Design was playing at the same place Soda was, and so I'm a big fan. Mind Design and Patchy Man. Let me give both artists their respect and props. I had not heard of Patchy Man prior to, and yeah, it was a really cool show. I think one of the unique things about shows such as that, like when there's like, and particularly an artist that shows up from, I'm not going to say a niche subculture, but definitely from a, yeah, I'd say a head subculture. I mean, that's why you're tuned in this podcast, right? Like on some tastemaker shit. Like that's why you're here. And so when an artist comes from like, say, a record label like Stone's Throw, which has been like a really like an underground cultural pillar, or like when I saw Kruder and Dorfmeister, or uh, even seeing like Fantagram or whatever, most of the crowd is there to they're there because they not only just know the artist, there's just not a lot of passengers there. Like everybody there is pretty attuned to what's going on. So like it felt good in a way that like I was able to go, and it was a small crowd, but the crowd was so like on the same speed and same level that it feels really good being in that kind of environment, especially for in these days of in these days of just kind of just music, I say music going outside, music events. Like I said, the word rave is not even like a real thing anymore. Or it's just lost its power, and particularly with now the way festivals go, that they're all sponsored by literally multi-billion-dollar corporations. Um, and some of them are some of the biggest, corporations on earth. Like, um, it just feels good when you're around a crowd where everybody actually is really, really in tune for the art and has been a part of that for forever. So that being said, I was in the crowd with uh, a very stone's throw attuned crowd, and it felt cool. I was telling my homie who worked there, she was like, yeah, everybody in here's dressed just like you. I'm like, I know, which is pretty much almost like this, except just the Portland Beatmaker uni, just some hood up, and we rolling. But it was good. It was really good. And so he played a set, Patchy Man. That was my first time hearing them. And so Patchy Man, they're a group from at least the main guys from Puerto Rico. I really can't speak for the rest of the band. I feel like they're not all from Puerto Rico. Just from my initial visual assessment, and you'd probably say the same thing, but I could be wrong. Either way, I only stayed for a few songs. I was tired. It's Sunday. Uh, Usually, uh, I'm in bed by 9:30 on school nights. So, um, I was definitely by the time 10:30 came around, I was definitely ready to pass out. So, but they're good. I only stay for a few songs. They do like uh dub and reggae. I want to say reggae-ish dub, but like kind of like dub world, but like there's more to it. It's really and I I don't know if they're a Stone's Throw artist. I'm just saying that because they're traveling with my design, so I'm assuming. However, as somebody who's been a Stone's Throw follower for quite a long time, and especially like I wouldn't say now because like they've kind of gone a different direction. Not bad, but that being said, the direction they've gone is definitely the way of Patchy Man sound, which is good. Like I love diversity in music. I love what they're doing. So either way, I can I definitely I started following them. I will definitely be checking them out, or yeah, whenever I see them touring next, I'll definitely check them out. And so yeah, that was at least I think that's really what's kind of been happening in my life uh, over since the last time I came on the pod. Um, well, I mean, there's that. Mike, my dog, she's the greatest. But her her condition is not getting better, and so I think she's kind of on her last kind of dose of drugs that are going to be effective to treat her cancer. And um, just going to focus on giving her the best rest of her life that I can. And so next week we are going to California. I'm going to drop her off at her mom's, which is my ex, and where her littermate brother is, who looks just like her, and they're gonna hang out for a week or so, maybe a little bit more. I'm gonna fly to New York, and yeah, I've got some cool stuff happening there. So looking forward to seeing the Justice K Tronada tour there. Since I missed the West Coast side. Um, I will be excited to see Busy Pete opening up for them, and also obviously there's obviously more opportunities for after scenarios to happen in New York. So I'm uh, really looking forward to that. And so yeah, I think that would be cool. I'm obviously worried, but I'm I definitely want to do this for I say do this for my dog and do this for her mom. Her mom has been a very big part of her treatment and her life, and same with her brother and everything like that. So uh, I definitely owe them that to make that happen. So I'm gonna do that, and then yeah, uh, go do some go do some cool stuff in New York. And so I'm really excited about seeing Justice and Katra. I have seen both of them. Um, Probably seen both of them minimum half a dozen times each. I think the first time I saw Katra was in 2013 in DC. Um, and then the first time I saw Justice was like 09, I feel. Maybe 08 in France. So I've definitely been longtime fans for both. Busy P, I saw play for, and that's who I'm really, really excited about. And that's honestly, this is what this episode's about, and this is what it's titled for. The Ed episode, which I had labeled the Busy P episode. So uniquely enough, I actually met Busy P last year in Vegas a year ago. I went and saw Justice at Life is Beautiful, their block party, and the unique thing about that whole scenario was I saw Busy P was playing at a party after, and I'd been in the club that he's playing in. I'd been in the manager's DMs for like weeks trying to get listed because like tickets were sold out. Like I'd been sleeping because I was like, I just didn't. long story short, I just didn't logistically know how we're gonna make it, and they were having like really, really tight rules on the door because of who it was, and I totally understood why. Um, and so walking through the festival, like we're walking through, me and my homie were walking through VIP, and like it was like a long, long stretch of VIP. But anyways, I'm walking, I'm walking, and it's hot, mind you, it's hot. It's Vegas, and it's extremely hot last year. Like I said, it was a hot one last year, especially going into the fall. It was 104 at night in Vegas. And if you know me, and especially for myself, because I work out a lot, and was an athlete, plus um, you know, when I like to party, things that I like to party with, they make me sweat a lot. And so I went and I was walking, and I look up, and I see this man standing by himself, and he's like, I don't think justice is on yet, but they're about to. And I'm like, I mean, there's nobody for literally 200 meters around. There's at least, I'll just say that now, I'm like, not that many, minimal 50 meters each direction. Nobody's around him. He's just standing there on the rail, just sitting there watching peacefully. I'm like, I don't get starstruck. I've look, especially in my previous life, like I've hung out and particularly smoked weed with so many athletes, celebrities, rappers, you name it, like, and in close proximity, like literally from us being in the back of a strip club smoking blunts to like, literally mansions in Beverly Hills and whatnot. And so it's hard for me to really get starstruck. I I this was I mean, it's bringing me back right now. Like literally, I could not. I there he was, Busy P, standing by himself, the head of Ed Banger, Daft Punk's longtime manager from the jump, hanging out by himself. No entourage, no folks, no. My guy is just chilling. I'm like, I just walked right by him, and I was like, this. I don't even understand why are you standing here? Why aren't you backstage? Or you know what I mean? Or in some like baller suite with the rest of people who have your type of everything. And I passed, and I was just like, I told my homie, I was like, that was Busy P. I can't, hey, I have to say something. I'm like, I can't let this moment like pass. Like I was like, I have to like get a picture. And so like I went, and I was like, hey, I and pretty much I just turned into fucking jello. That's what happened, because I was lost for words. I don't think I for me, I don't think I've ever thought I'd meet somebody that was that important culturally to me, and in the flesh, and like, and not in that kind of space, and definitely not at that time. But here I am, just sweaty and wide eyed and whatever. And I go, I was like, I know who you are. And he's like, it's like, you do? And he's like, are you coming to the party later? I'm like, I'm really trying. And I was just like, should I ask this motherfucker for tickets? Am I that bold? And I'm like, hey, he's gonna be like, who in the hell are you? No, wasn't that bold. So I was like, nah, I'm really trying, but I'm definitely gonna go, whatever. But I was like, look, I really know who you are. I'm beyond a big fan. Like, I can't even believe I'm like talking to you right now. Can I like have a picture or whatever? And and here we are. Like, I was beyond myself, and um I walked away and probably like we walked, there's like this little like grassy area or whatever that was for, or faux grass like lounge area in VIP, and like my my friends had to carry me the hat like the other hat, the back half there, because I just became legless. Like I could not believe that I just met Busy P. And so that and then, obviously went through, saw the rest of the show. Justice killed it. We did end up at the after party with Busy P. Uh, Another photo of him spinning, and he did like when he finished the set, like he walked through and he remembered me, shook hands or whatever. Um, for me, that was like one of the crescendos of my cultural musical life, like period. Like so far, that definitely ranks up there. That like seeing Amy Winehouse live and Jamiroquai live, uh, uh, the Zach De La Roca coming out and closing out for Run the Jewels, and that definitely is up there. I say all that because while this is the Busy P episode, the thing that sparked this episode, or sparked me to actually make this, and I'm gonna start going way, way harder on all the effing sauces. You guys are gonna start getting a lot more content and a lot more everything, is because in particular this summer, Ed Banger has had a great, great summer, and I really wish I was able to participate better in that. Like they had quite a few parties in Paris and beyond, and what just happened this weekend was something that I thought, this past weekend was something that I thought I would, if it would ever happen again, I'd have the flexibility to be able to capitalize on it. And so the reason that this Ed Banger episode is getting created now, because these notes, and we still haven't even gotten close to what I have written here of Busy P, who he is, what Ed Banger has done for the whole entire culture, and more. um, it's because honestly, because he's able to create moments like this, because even as somebody who at this point, Busy P was the music conductor for the Paris Olympics, 24 Paris Olympics. He was the person who assembled, created, or not created, but like was assembled and in charge of all of the music for the ceremony, all of it, opening and closing. So for that, for somebody like the Olympics to have him in charge of something like that, that tells you already where he's at, and what he's done for the culture, especially for the French culture. Beyond being the manager of Daft Punk, because of course he's gonna know when they're playing again, or what they're up to at all times. They're friends. Like they've been friends for, I don't know, probably from what I've read, 30 something years or whatever. But this past weekend, for first time in over 16 years. And this person played with Busy P and Fred again. And then not only that, for the first time in over 25 years, this person played without their helmet and mask. Thomas Bangalter of Daft Punk got on the decks at Because Bilbog in Paris, a party thrown by Ed Banger. And Thomas Bangalter went back to back with Fred again and Busy P and Errol Alkin. I first keeping it in the Busy P sector. Only somebody like Busy P can make something like that happen. And in already a year that I'd say dance music has had a really, really big year in a lot of good ways, some bad ways too. I think we've talked about it here as well, but I think so far as where the where dance music has broken ground in both in the very, very public light and also in still keeping still doing shit for the culture. That's what I mean. That is what I mean. Like, to say that that was the biggest moment in dance music for this year is not even not even close. It's the biggest moment for definitely the decade. 100%. 100%. I'm beyond myself that I miss it because I have a massive contingent of French friends, particularly in Paris, that I could have gone, stayed with, made that party happen with. How I didn't know it was happening is beyond me. Well, I knew because Boberg was happening, but yeah, I think that it's just being there, One of the things that in particularly, when I met Busy P, I was telling one of my friends that I was with, he was like, he's a Daft Punk fan, but he didn't, and he knows that I'm plugged in and I've been this close to seeing Daft Punk before. I mean, this close. Um, but he was telling me, he's like, hey man, if you ever get word that Daft Punk's playing, just give me 2 months, man, and I'll make it. I'm like, that's not how any of this works. That's not how any of this works. And I know that, I know you have to be that flexible. You have to be right place, right time, at the very least in the same city and a couple neighborhoods over, and getting that buzz, getting that text or whatever, and maybe trying to make it happen. If you're not, you're just gonna miss it. And so I missed it. I'm upset with myself because I was this close to seeing Daft Punk before. 07 in Amsterdam, me and my homie Nick, we actually drove from Stuttgart where we were living. We drove up to Amsterdam. Daft Punk was on tour. It was little did we know it was the last time they were ever going to be on tour. It was 07. They had done the Coachella show, the infamous Coachella show. I was gonna go try. I wanted to see him in Paris. It was like, look, there's come on, Daft Punk in Paris. There's not. I shouldn't have to say anymore. And like I said, especially with having the contingent of French friends that I had, I looked online at the time, and the exchange rate was really, really bad. And not only that, tickets were really, really high. And so, like, it was either drive 6 hours to Paris or drive 6 hours to Amsterdam, where the tickets were like literally a fourth of the price. We chose the cheaper route. We got there, and we were running a little bit late. At least we thought a little bit late. We had to get there, drop all our stuff off at the. We were staying at. we were so broke. We were staying at like an abbreviated campsite, or like an upscale a campsite that had like it was cool. But we had to still drop off our stuff, and then we had to like get a taxi and whatever, get dressed, all that. But like time we got there, we were like, yo, it's just like it's an hour past the start time. Like I've been to at this point, even in '07, I'm like, man, I've been to 1,000 shows. Like their opener is gonna play for at least a half hour, 45 minutes. All right, we're like, 20 minutes later. We're 20 minutes up. There's missed 20 minutes. There's missed 20 minutes. Man, we got to that box office. We got the coldest Dutch nose ever. Like that lady was like, nah, they're literally about to end in 15 minutes. This place is closed. We were like, no. And that was that. And we sat out there, and like literally just as he said, the doors opened, everybody poured out. There was a couple of Dutch dudes that passed us that were pretty cool, and like they started chatting us up, and we're like, you want to go to the middle of the city and get some beers and smoke some spliffs? And I was like, yep. I couldn't smoke at the time. About how we could, but like we still went out, and like it was during a festival called 5 Days Off, and so we still saw some shit. But like, had I known, that was a mere. If I would have known that was gonna be like that's my chance to see Daft Punk as I sit here 18 whole ass years later. Oh, I absolutely would have risked jail time and just busted through the doors to be in the crowd, without a doubt. With by absolutely, at 25, like I was peak rugby shape and size. Like, nah, son, nah, son, nah, son. I'm running through everybody to get through the fucking get in and see that shit. Are you kidding me? Um, that was my experience, man. And so, yeah, while I'm upset that I missed it, this gives me like hope that like there's still like uh the culture's still here, man. The culture's still here and alive. And so as I want to say, I want to make this the Busy P episode, and it is. I want to make it the Busy P episode and more. We'll see how much we get through, but yeah. So that was really exciting. Like I've been reposting a lot of the content from there, and from the Thomas Bangalter Fred Again show. Uniquely enough, I listened to the set. I'll repost it, or I'll attach the SoundCloud link in the video. But excuse me. But it's so funny. Like I just let it play, and I was walking my dog, and in the beginning, I probably like the first like I don't know, let's say like 35, 45 minutes, really distinctly French um, French touch, kind of whatever. And then like literally like I can't even I can't remember what track it opened, but I was like, oh, Fred again must hit the decks. And it wasn't bad. It was just a very distinct musical style change, especially for somebody like myself. And I wanted to be, part of me wanted to be like, because it was definitely more current and definitely something like that you would hear from Fred again. And I kind of wanted to be like, oh man, you're in France, you're with, literally the French legends of dance music, and honestly, and one of them of culture and more. And we're definitely gonna get more into that. But why not play along? And then I thought about it. I'm like, nah, that would have been not the right move. You you need to do, yes, play your style to be able to fit into to roll with the crowd and roll with the groove of the movement, but you're the you want to let the masters have their work and let it stand alone and sit there and not like play some muddled out thing. Go do your thing, and almost like I can almost see it as like, and I think he does as well, because he he when he came on the decks, he was like, thank you everybody for showing up for the most insane 2 hours of my life. And I think that's, if anything, that's any I want to say rel just about probably I could probably say 98% of people who get behind the decks, I could probably say that'd be one of their dream scenarios, would to be even back to back around on the same set list, on the same billing, um, hopefully played on the consecutive weekend at the same place, of at least somebody from Daft Punk, let alone to go back to back. And so I think he did a great job of like, yeah, just sticking to him and being him, which is what he should have done. And I think, uh, honestly, a reminder to myself, sometimes, to just, as well, just sticking to me, and it'll all work out. And kind of a self moment of realization and actualization, and also kind of a unique transition, because you know one of the things, like I said, I met Busy P last year, and I wrote this whole entire thing last year, a year ago, and I'm just now doing the episode. Well, I am glad to be doing the episode right now because of what just happened this past weekend, to be able to kind of catapult that energy and to be able to catapult more information and, um, whatnot into this podcast. The reason I didn't release this last year or around when I met Busy, because I was, I want to say, wasn't too scared. I think for myself, just trying to build this podcast, as you're watching in episode 4 or so, that, essentially I tried to think about what I needed to make it perfect instead of just making it. And I was still at ground zero, or not ground zero. I still hadn't, I just still hadn't built this thing, then. And I was still waiting to make it perfect. And I didn't start. And I think the, the delay of making it perfect, or the delay of starting, was due to just trying to figure out, like, of what do I want to do in order to kind of make it my own podcast and or whatever, and or trying to think of what I needed to have in order to make this a successful podcast. I just need to have me, do me, be me. That's it. So um, I definitely need help in production and promotion. I know that for a fact, and I know where my weak spots are. But also at the same time, if I don't just put myself out there and just do it, I don't know. And that's one thing I can really really admire about Fred again. Even though I shouldn't say even though he's just really popular, and that's usually I kind of stay away from kind of really popular whatever. But he did his damn thing, and so here I am. I'm doing the Ed Banger episode now, and so you know, for myself, like, you know, I've obviously a big fan of Busy P as he started Ed Banger and the label, and then also him being the manager of Daft Punk since the 90s. I think that's how cool is that? Like, to be, I can't even imagine. Like, one of the things I try to like think about is like, especially now that I'm in this kind of creator journey, is like the difference of what these people's mindsets are at the beginning, and like not only that, what their knowledge base is at the beginning versus where it may be now, wherever they may be at their journey. Where, you know, you look at somebody like Busy P who met Daft Punk as students and was like, yeah, I'm going to be your manager. Decided to be their manager, and for those either who don't remember or were around the 90s, Daft Punk was not popular, um, at least here in the States. Like, I can remember like when One More Time came out, like 2000, right before like, yeah, that was like right before I left for the military. Like, I thought that was like, I was like, dang, they're getting popped. And then like and then you know, yeah, Tron happened and like the internet happened and everything else. But like, I just can't imagine their mindsets of being like, all right, like being in the 90s back when, you know, they weren't performing with their mask and things like that, versus like now, like literally uh Tomas has blown up the internet, legit blown up the internet, legit has blown up the fucking internet. And Busy P is, you know, last year was doing the ceremonies of the Olympics, and so like that's such, to me, like that's such a a massive like mental jump, I guess, because it's just like that can't be what they were thinking in 95. That can't be that what they were thinking in 03. Like, so that's one thing I'm always curious about. I am going to put energy into manifesting this, that hopefully one day I'll be able to ask these questions personally. I'd love to, but even more so, like, he has that chapter with the robots, and like that's, even if he stayed there, that would have been really really anybody, like, that's a legacy within itself. I think one of the things that really really struck me is that, in particularly when he started Ed Banger, and when Ed Banger really got like cooking, like probably like I want to say '06 ish, to kind of like 13, where like the Bloghaus era really like really cracked off, like really cracked off. And I really credit I really credit him, like, you know, A-Track's a big part of that. Um, A-Track and Fool's Gold. Fool's Gold is a really big part of that. Honestly, Fool's Gold deserves their own episode a lot as well. For that reason, A-Track for kind of almost going similar reasons. Damn near Canadian Busy P. Huh. I just now put that together in my literally y'all just saw that happen live. All right. So but I think like in this '07 to 13 era, you had the you know, what they call the Blockhouse era. And so like I didn't know it was happening at the time, but it was so cool. Like I remember living in Germany, and like I was going to France a lot, um, probably once a month. And, you know, between not just between whatever, like obviously Justice coming out with DA and CE, and obviously what was going on Fool's Gold. There's just like this, it seemed like the culture took a concerted effort to like start like this really crossover genre bending sound, like in particularly with Ed Banger. There's obviously a lot of DJs who have a lot of heavy electronic influence, and a lot of obviously the French touch in the house and filter is there too. But one of the things in particularly that I didn't even realize that Ed Banger had done until I saw Justice the second time last year, which was like, I don't know, a week after I saw him the first time, or a week after I saw him in Vegas, was the heavy metal influence of it. And this is somebody who's been a Ed Banger fan, like I said, since day one. I've been buying So Me art since, I don't know, '09. Like, I've definitely been about it. Um, but once I actually saw the show here, and then I saw the crowd here in Portland, like there's a lot of like metalheads and stuff. I'm like, oh yeah, I get it. And like then like obviously looking at Justice and everything, like they dress like rock stars. But then like once I started doing more like uh re-listening to stuff, like I've always been a big fan of Sebastian, and um I never put the rock and roll influence there, or the heavy metal influence there. And it's astounding because it is the influence, like but they beyond that. And I like, even obviously there's the house and heavy metal influence, there's a big hip-hop influence, where it's like not only were they creating hip-hop remixes with Kid Cudi and Ye and Pharrell and all these other folks, but you know, DJ Mehdi, he came out with a hip-hop album. uh that being said, may he forever rest in power. I had the honor of seeing DJ Mehdi live before he passed, and I want to say '08 or so. He came to a club in Stuttgart called Rocker 33, or Rocco 33, and and he played like, and that was like, I was I went to that show solo because that's the thing, man. Like, if if everybody knew how long I've been doing this and how many shows I've gone to solo because there was nobody else who even knew who these people were. Like, I'm not even saying nobody else, but like they weren't large. format performers. Anywho, but I was fortunate enough to see him live, and they've always had like uh, a hip hop crossover, or I wouldn't say hip hop crossover. Let me completely wipe that genre out. I think because of the sound that they were creating, the sound kind of Fool's Gold was creating, and not only that, there was a sound coming out of Australia as well, like kind of like the early like the pre-Future Classic days as well. That was creating like this uh like ethereal like hip hop slash like um house slash I don't know, but like, you know, the Crookers and um gosh, I'm definitely definitely the Claxons. Oh, wait, I actually have these written down. Duh. But like, yeah, so like the Crookers, Claxons, like Phoenix, Boys Noise, like all those folks, like they, and even if they were not associated with Ed Banger, were all kind of like uniquely enough creating this sound culture from wherever they were based at. The Claxons were out of Australia, so like I feel like Ed Banger was a really really big spearhead in that, but I think also where I think the importance of where they lie in that is that they, I think, helped move a lot of mainstream fans over to our world, like a lot of mainstream fans over to the world of like dance music, and like I think that was the first real initial push of bringing folks over into that world. And you know, he was responsible for it, and there was some absolute great music that was created during that time. um I mean, you know, I'm so glad I have this written down because like I have I definitely get nervous in front of the camera, and especially trying to record myself for my own product output. It's, yeah, sometimes I just get too much going on in my head. But yeah, no, like the Day and Night Crookers remix, the but Busy P had the it's probably still one of my one of my favorite like pump up songs, like the Protect and Entertain by Merce, that Crookers remix. Still be getting the party going. But yeah, man, like if you look at it now, like, and especially if you look at Busy P now, like he's friends and close collaborators with like literally the Pharrells and the Migos and the those type of people in the world. Like he is up there. And so I I really appreciate people like that. I not only that, I really appreciate now that I've met him. I did meet him, but I'm not sitting there acting like I'm like homies and I don't know, we're gonna go out for drinks and shit. Um, but n- now that I actually have seen him like out like live, like he's super cool, just kind of does his own thing, very quiet, like not really like a he doesn't have, you know, 7 figures worth of jewelry around his neck at all times, like, you know, just still a really regular guy, like, and that's for somebody who's moved culture like that, it's beyond uh, beyond astounding to me, beyond impressive. And for me, like, that's why I wanted to create this podcast, and that's why I want to do this podcast and do this more, is because, like, I appreciate people like that. I want to engage with people who appreciate, like, who can fully appreciate that not only that, but or who have appreciated that angle and that part of the culture, but also to have conversations with more people who do. That's really it. Like, I love talking about this. I and maybe that's also a part of it. Like, I love talking about this so much. There's only so much I guess I can do for my own brain. And I want to be able to, I know with more engagement, more people will come along. I'm like, I don't care. Start a fight in the comments. You know what I mean? But like, I really enjoy in-depth culture conversations, and like, especially living through that period, because it's like I have an Australian kid, you know, and so I definitely was definitely attuned to that sound uh, during that period, and traveled throughout Europe a lot during that period, and just all these different periods. Like, you take a step back, and I think in one of the previous episodes I was talking about the low end theory in LA, and it's just like, same, that whole beat scene from like 2014 to like 2018, like, that was a whole, like, I don't think you guys understand what that did for the culture as well. Like, that's so much, like, whether it was a group of artists or even a sound that like helped create the sound that we're at now. Like, um yeah, man, I really appreciate it. I love it. I want to talk more about it. I Yeah, I love music and I love culture, and so um I'm gonna keep doing this. Hopefully my train of thought gets cleaner, and so that way yeah, it just gets cleaner, and yeah, that's it. And so um I'm gonna be taken off. Hopefully I'll be able to, I'm not gonna say hopefully, change in language. I'm gonna get another pod out next week. You know what, which way or another might be a different backdrop and setting, but it's gonna get done. I'm gonna manifest this also. I've got a so that's how big of an Ed Banger fan I am. A few years ago, uh, for the 25th anniversary of Ed Banger, I think they did a little collection capsule with Adidas where they released some special um, Ed Banger Superstar Adidas. And so on them, that has all of the artists' names like imprinted into the leather of the superstars with there's a different sole, and then there's like a different bottom, like the bottom insole, and then there's a different bottom on them that's custom to them. I can't remember. Either way, I bought them. It's probably 5 years ago, maybe 7 years ago. And so, long story short, I'm going to. I don't unfortunately have them here in this house. I'm actually going to pick them up from my ex's this next week, but I'm going to take them with me to New York and hopefully get them signed. Like, and that I'm going to put that energy out there. I'm gonna cross my fingers. all. I don't even get stuff signed like that. But like, you know what I mean? So I'm hoping for the best. But that being said, coming from New York, there'll definitely be a lot to talk about. I know I've got an event for Rock Huts, or I'm going to Rock Huts, which I'm pretty excited about, and I think I've talked about it on here. They are kind of a house focused entity based out of New York, and they have um, it's no phones, no VIPs, like all that good stuff, and but it's just music and dancing. Like just show up and dance, which is what I'm about. Just show up and DANCE 1 2 3 4 5. Um, I'm really excited about that. So I will have quite a bit to talk about, like because I will have taken in a lot of actual real culture, some East Coast culture, which I'm quasi excited about. It's cold and the accents are aggressive, and I don't know. But either way, one of these days I'm going to get to the funk episode. I feel like honestly, like, and when I say funk, I mean funk, PHONK. Like I almost feel like that needs 6 chapters, but like that is the next wave, and I can't, and it's been the next wave, and I can't wait to check it out, or at least not check it out, but at least share it with you in full capacity. So yeah, wait for or check the link for in the or check for the link to SoundCloud for the legendary Thomas Bangalter, um, one half of Daft Punk, um, set with back to back with Fred again, Airlock, and Busy P. Dang, I should have got these out for. I should have got them out for the episode. So I've been a Daft Punk fan literally since '97 when I heard Around the World. I was it was the day before, or it was the day of the first day of school of my sophomore year, and I couldn't stay. Literally could not stay asleep because I'm always excited for the first day of school. Like, I'm gonna show up so crispy. I'm gonna show up so crispy. I'm like, it just ain't gonna know what hit him. And so I'd be up like my outfit laid, everything. But since it was early in the morning, that's when that like before that's how you actually found like I'll say underground music. I'll just say music that wasn't on the radio or stuff that wasn't commonly played. So that's when MTV2 would play, or on BET you'd have like Caribbean rhythms and like whatever. And so that's when you see like legit music or whatever. And I remember the video coming on, and I'm like, what is going on? But I love the beat, and I just and I was like stuck in my head forever. Became an instant fan, and yeah, like I said, even tried to see him in '07. But one of the things that I got a present a few years ago from my ex, because I wanted these action figures that I'd seen on Amazon that were official by Bandai. They're official Daft Punk figurines, and I I had messed up and not bought them when they first came out, because when they first came out, they think they were like $50 a piece. I was like, I'll just wait, and but as I waited, the price kept going up. The price kept going up and up and up and up, and I was like, oh no. And so I told her about it. It was just like, man, it was just like one day I was like, yeah, man, we're talking about Daft Punk, and I was like, oh man, I really want these figures, but like, yeah, it's like it's whatever, they just keep going up. And so one year, like Christmas, birthday, whatever, and I get these two. She hands me a package. I open them as two boxes. And they're skinny boxes, and they're plain. They are plain with just like an Amazon box, just like. But then they have the writing on them, and then it was like it's just a Bandai. I'm like, I started reading the names, and it took me like a second and a half. I'm like, Human and Tommy. Because it just said their full government name on the front. It didn't say anything about Daft Punk, and that was it. And it was like written kind of like you would like a box code or something like that. I'm like, what the? I have not taken those things out the box. They will never get taken out of the box. That I hope I never see those things out of the box in my lifetime. I hope not. At least if trajectory stays the same and the price trajectory stays the same, I should never have should see I should never see those things ever. Period. Period. Like uh unless 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 I meet Daft Punk and I would be like, I need I can't let you leave without signing these. I'm like, I'm gonna leave here with something. I'm gonna leave here with something. Um, just playing, but anywho, yeah, man. So that's that. I think that's it for the episode, y'all. It's nighttime. I'm going to, yeah, end this. I think I'm gonna start getting ready for bed or figuring out how to get ready for bed. Tomorrow's Halloween. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I normally don't do much. I'm not much of a dresser upper person. Like I think because my family's never been about holidays at all, that like my holidays kind of fall the same way. Um, kind of sucks because Portland does kind of go kind of hard for Halloween. So I don't know. I think I'll figure something out. I really, I like. I'm really just trying to also reserve my energy for New York. I'm old, like so. I know I'm gonna go really, really hard next week. Plus, uh, I have to drive the whole West Coast in a few days. So there's that. So I'm just definitely trying to I want to say reserve energy, but definitely reserve energy. And so yeah, I'll do. I don't know. I think tomorrow that I'll do Cut Chemist. He's he's playing out of place. And I think that sounds like a solid plan. Might figure out like I don't know, throw in a Doom mask or something in a hoodie and call it a day. Oh yeah, actually that's that's the real day. Tomorrow is Doomsday. Excuse me. Let me reshift. Tomorrow's Doomsday. So definitely uh listen to Doom set. I say set, like go find there's plenty out there on YouTube. Like Scratch Bastard did a great Doom set once he passed. Yeah, there's a ton of DJs that have done great Doom sets. He's actually got a merch drop next tomorrow. That's actually pretty dope. He partnered with the Knicks, or their state partner with the Knicks, and yeah, he's actually got like a shooting shirt and some jerseys and shit coming out tomorrow. That'll be fly. Dang. All right. Quick Doom story. Quick Doom story. So Doom is like my favorite hip hop artist ever. Period. Like that's it. It's Doom, and then there's a solid black line and everybody else. That's doing my life. So finding out he passed, that was hard for me, especially since it was like New Year's Eve. And I'm like, I ended up crying a lot and all this other shit. Um, Anywho, I can remember. So, like I said, I've been in and before on a previous episode, like I've been about the Apple Music life for a while. Like Apple Music has been telling you they swooped that BBC model and have been killing it ever since. And so they have a bunch of hosted radio shows, and one of the radio shows that they had that I listened to in particular was the radio show from Mike D of the Beastie Boys. I'm definitely a fan of his, and he always like had a variety of different music playing. But anyways, like him, and I want to say there's another like radio host that or DJ that I listened to or followed or whatever, and around that same time, and like I remember like that fall, like that Doom died. Like I remember literally, I remember Mike D would being like, "Hey man, like, uh, Mad Lib, like, I know you're going through it, brother. Stay strong." What? And I remember like him, somebody else. I can't, but like I remember I literally Googled, like I'm like, dang, is he in the hospital? Is Mad Lib okay? Like whatever. Like there's like not like I remember it's like, oh man, Mad Lib, hey, stay strong, man. You know, whatever. I'm just like, oh man, you know, hey, I'm sitting here, you know, thinking like prayers up to Mad Lib. I guess I hope, you know, he's okay, whatever. Not knowing, hey, dumb, they know. They know. Mad Lib's depressed because he just lost his fucking closest, probably one of his closest friends, and definitely one of his closest collaborators. Like, and I mean, shout out to obviously the people in the community who did know. I'm sure, I'm sure not like, I'm sure other folks knew as well. And that's some hard ass shit to hold to your chest. Some real hard shit to hold to your chest. And I don't know, for yeah, for 2 months, the whole world didn't know. It's crazy. So, yeah, tomorrow, Doomsday. Maybe Cut Chemist will play some Doom shit. Actually, you know what? That literally just might have like in real time once again. What? See, that y'all be sitting here thinking I want these papers. Do you know how many just real live gears you saw just get turned during this whole podcast? It just made me do stuff. Probably because tomorrow's Doomsday. I can almost see Cut Chemist doing some kind of Doom shit. I should probably go to that show instead of like, oh, maybe should I? No, I should. So I think that's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna go see Cut Chemist for Halloween. I think a little bit of little something to wear. That's it. But I think yeah, I'm gonna get off here now. I think I've blabbled enough and gone in so many other directions that I hope you appreciate them all. I hope you stay safe. Um, Definitely stay safe, especially these days. Um, be careful out there. Have a safe holiday. Take your Ubers, and I'll be on, y'all. Cheers.